Let me get beautiful. I got to get beautiful. Best thing he can do is give you your money back. Give you your money back, baby. Then he'll walk away, feeling as free as a dove. You find that you want to take a trip, and you're dumb enough to think he's hip. Whoa, call me, baby. Call me, call me, call me. And I'll tell you the truth, baby. Hello, YouTube. We're back on the subject again, of course. Hey, God, before everything, you made it first today. Oh man. I've gotten several calls and $1 cash apps informing me there's drama in the beef sector. There's something I think that should have been discussed earlier, but y'all let that boy Jay Wilson walk away from this horrible scandal with hardly a mention. You just go on and believe whatever he says. It's so reminiscent of the situation with Donald Trump. You know what he said were lies, 140 lies in a 6-minute talk. You know they're lies. You just let him walk away and go on to the next lie and the next lie and the next lie. I think it is wrong, and we need to call out falsehoods. When somebody's scamming, somebody's ripping people off, we should warn our brothers and sisters so they know to stay away. Okay, so I'm going to play a little taste, of course. How y'all doing? Mocha Drop, Alfreda Gross, Tequila Annette, Rizzo. Yeah, several people contacted me about this situation, child. I guess I'm the Jay Wilson police, but I think there's something worth talking about. So we're going to go over a little bit of what Bradley said. Sean Bradley had a lady on there. I think her name is Just Andrea. I believe that's the lady. And she's explaining what she had to go through by Jay Wilson just abruptly canceling his trip, sending her $85 like it was the end of it. She says, she spent several $100s, correct? Because she didn't wait to the last minute to pay for a room, or the last minute to pay for her airfare, right? She made preparations because she assumed that the person calling himself a travel agent was a serious person. This was actually going to happen. So we want to hear a little taste of that for context, right? Where's he at? Let's see what they say.
That means he's admitting to the shit that we done heard about his funky ass being motherfucking true if he said somebody in his campus a mole.
Well, I got calls and said, but the thing is, the only reason I said something because I have a friend who's a YouTuber who's not in this sector. Okay, and she was upset. And when she was upset, then that bothered me. Because it slipped my mind to call her and say he canceled. Because the reason we were still going to Vegas, even though he canceled. I was going to Vegas come hell or high water. I don't give a fuck who ain't going.
Now, so let me get this straight. So if your friend spent her hard-earned money to go kick it with Jay Wilson then canceled the trip for whatever fucking reason, didn't let nobody know a real substantial reason why he canceled the trip. He let folks know that Vivian can't go because Vivian got some situations at home with her family, which we all can understand. But that bitch ain't got nothing going on, so why couldn't he go on the trip since it was his idea any motherfucking way? So when the people's trips get canceled, get fucked up, they done took off of work, they done spent that good old money and shit on plane tickets, hotels, and everything else. He want to be mad because now folks are speaking up because they found out their hotel being canceled. They ain't gonna get the discounted rate that they've been promised. None of that.
So when he pulled out, several other people, I don't think there were very many people who signed up for that. Just like he comes on here and lies about how we had 50 people on the boat. Well, Sean Bradley also, I recommend you check out his video, also revealed that he was on the boat with Jay Wilson. He saw who was with Jay Wilson. He knew who the rider crazies were, correct? And he says it's about 13 people. 13 people. But just like Donald Trump, Jay Wilson has to exaggerate it. We had 50 people. We had 50 people. And up until the day that he decided to cancel this new trip, he was claiming he had something like 55 people coming on this damn trip. When I knew he was lying. Well, I assume he was lying because I did see his mouth move. Whenever his mouth is moving, he's lying, right? Him and Trump would have the same psychological background, except for he's broke. Anyway, so I saw that Wilson on his page today, he was saying that, oh, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. I don't know nothing about these people. And so he's backing away from the responsibility of how he just treated these people. Correct? He had no reason to be canceling any trip. The only reason he canceled the trip is because no one was participating. He didn't get enough money out of it, so he wasn't going, because for him, it's all about a coin. I'm going to get a coin from it. Oh, I don't do nothing for free. They know Jay Wilson don't do nothing for free. When nigga, check this out. You couldn't afford the plane fare and the hotel because you were depending on these people to pay for it for yours, right? In other words, you get a free trip and a little shit on the side, right? Something to apply to that mortgage. So now that they've caught you, Jay Wilson, because you keep changing the story, now you had problems, correct? So you added that to the story today. That's why you canceled the trip, right? You can't stay with what you said initially because it was a lie. You see, when you tell the truth, you don't got to worry about remembering what you said or what excuse you gave and all this shit, girl. You had responsibility, Jay Wilson. It had absolutely nothing to do with Vivian. Vivian is your personal slave. The trip had nothing to do with Vivian. So, and then even before you canceled the trip, I don't really want to go. I'm only going because of Vivian. I'm only going because of Vivian. Then 5 days later, Vivian ain't going. I told Vivian, well, forget about it. Let's just forget about it, Vivian. Send the money back. You were already setting it up for your excuse to leave because you were realizing, well, so far we got 4 people, right? That's not going to pay for my trip, let alone contribute anything to Miss Vivian, who you claim now that you're going for her birthday. This is being irresponsible. You had an obligation. When you start collecting money from people and you started making arrangements for trips, you tell them about how you got the hotel and you got this and you got that, and we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Mister, I'm so sick of you. I don't know why you repeat so much, Jay Wilson. We don't need to hear any more about how ain't no friends on YouTube, right? And how you don't care. We don't need to hear that ever again, girl. Correct? You're backing out of this thing. You're not taking responsibility for what you did. You're not even addressing the people that you caused this financial hardship. Correct? Now, apparently some of these people say, well, I'm already planning on going to Vegas, so I might as well go to Vegas. Correct? Well, when they called the hotel to make sure their room was a reserve, they say, I have a reserved room. They say, no, that room is $500 a night. Excuse me? I thought we had a rate of something like $88. Oh, that trip has been canceled. So you don't even tell them anything about it. You say, oh, that's their business. That's their business. Ain't got nothing to do with me. I sleep good at night. Oh, I mean, how arrogant for you to say these things instead of coming humbly and apologizing, saying, I overpromised. There was no money, and so I was not going, period. I do not gamble, correct? I do not drink. I do not smoke no weed. So I'm not even a part of the parties, honey, correct? So you had no reason to go there except to get these people's money. And when the money wasn't coming in, you couldn't be a man and say, listen, because of low participation, we have to cancel the trip. We just don't have it. We don't have the funds to do what we plan to do. No, you come on here with all this elaborate shit about Vivian, mama got a bone spur or some shit like that, child. Then Vivian having health problems and Vivian having health problems. Then we find out also in this interview, I'll play a little more, that Vivian is going on a cruise in 2 weeks. Now that's very strange, because if your mama is in such dire straits and she needs your physical body to be there with her, why then are you able to go on a cruise? He talking about going to Atlanta to watch a football game. Really, nigga? You have money to go to a football game in Atlanta a week before you make the announcement. I guess you're in somewhere in Georgia, correct? You have money for that, but you don't have money to fulfill your obligation. When you're organizing something like that, you have a responsibility, Jay Wilson. You're such a disrespectful piece of shit, correct? You're incapable of telling the truth about anything. Let me get another small taste.
Out of that. So when they talk about Jay Wilson business practice, he wanna blame it on the mold.
Yes, and so what happened was she told me the rent was $500, and she said we're not paying $500. We wouldn't promise that. And she said I was on the phone with the hotel for 5 hours. And tell Yaya Jay Wilson ain't got no motherfucking tea on me. Thank you very much.
So what was you supposed to have told us? Because I'm confused. Like, what was the mole supposed to tell us about Jay Wilson? It couldn't be the mole on a cruise because Jay Wilson told everybody on the cruise what was going down. And on the cruise, we bought our shit in March. Our shit was bought and paid for in March.
I was still paying on that motherfucking cruise. So if y'all bought y'all pay for y'all cruise in March, I was still paying on that damn cruise.
Because you was with them. You know, yes. So I'm not understanding. So he's admitting that he do some bad business practice. He admitting that he's on fuck shit, but he's trying to deflect by saying that you and Demeter on the mode.
Yes.
He gonna blame this woman. He gonna blame these women after he takes their money. Now it's all their fault. It's always somebody else's fault, Donald Trump Wilson. Donald Trump Wilson. But the thing is, you're supposed to be humble when you have failed again, right? You say always talking about, oh, our trip was wonderful. Our trip was, well, this boy was an eyewitness. Excuse me if I slip and call people boy. Man was an eyewitness. He said 13 people. He said Jay Wilson tried to trick him into, let's take a group picture. He wanted to take a group picture with his club chat people and Tracy's friends, all get together and hug, right? And take a trip with Jay Wilson standing in front so he could claim this is the 50 people. Look, we having a good time. We having fun. Instead of simply telling the truth, you had 13 people. So you come immediately back. You start joining all of these goddamn, what were they doing for a while? Challenge this, challenge that. You throw your ass in there, right? You have a challenge, correct? Jay Wilson, why can't you understand that it is time in your middle 50s or 60? It is time for you to settle your ass down and get an actual, real, full-time job. Correct? You've become too dependent on YouTube. Everything is for $1. Everything is for money. You have bled these people in every way you can bleed them. When you run out of schemes and scams, you should not be paying your bills based on schemes and scams out these few people on YouTube. We've all seen the dwindling numbers, Jay Wilson, and we see what people give you. We see that. It ain't nothing. But you got so lazy that you found YouTube, and then you made YouTube. This is your career. You're pitiful, and you're such a narcissist that you cannot tell the truth. Let's switch off from Bradley for a minute. I want y'all to see the attitude of Jay Wilson on this morning. Let's see what he has to say in his defense. Oh, that's right. He's a doctor, pastor, okay, chaplain, travel agent, and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. Let's go to the latest one. Okay, he's on there now saying, la, 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 what a mess. I haven't even heard this one. Let's just enjoy it together.
No, I'm not going to let you pay for this. I got you. Come on, LB.
He's bragging about a woman paying for his dinner.
Going with me.
Okay, she's still talking today. I'm thinking he might be bipolar too, because 1 minute he's so damn slow, you got to take a nap between his words, and then next thing he's hollering, screaming in the goddamn thing. He might be bipolar as well.
At the QT where I work.
Ain't nobody
They have a
laughing at that
blackout
shit,
day.
nigga. You've been saying your QT where you work for months. Ain't nobody even
Friday
responded to
is
it,
the
girl.
last day of the blackout day, meaning that I would have to come to Vegas on Saturday and leave on Sunday. So, since Vivian was not feeling well,
I thought her mama wasn't
Vivian
feeling well.
wasn't going to be coming, there was no need for me to try to do that, knowing that I could not get to Vegas early because I could only get to Vegas on Saturday. That email that was sent to me had absolutely zero.
Girl, your responsibility is not to your slave or assistant. That is not your responsibility. You committed to a trip, being messy, trying to piss on somebody else, and step your funky ass into the algorithm. Correct? So you can be part of the conversation. Correct? And when you realize that people are not that, that's not that into you. Correct? Whatever the heyday was, it has long passed. Correct? And so you can't be man enough to say that you could not raise the money. You could not get people in to sign up for this damn trip. The $55, which you doubled and then added 5 to, that is not essentially the part of the you keep saying that we gave money back. We gave, girl, they must have said that 50 times when they announced this shit, right? We gave money back. We gave, girl, the $55 wasn't shit. The hotel rooms were the expense, and the flights were the expense, and the babysitters were the expense. Correct, Jay Wilson? You had an obligation to be there, and you still, even if we catch you red-handed, you're so damn Donald Trump. It pisses me off. Girl, you still coming up with this bullshit. So now you got a whole nother group of excuses. This nigga just came on. I had not seen this video. All these other excuses. I thought it was about Vivian's mother. Now it's about Vivian was sick. But yet Vivian can take her big ass on a cruise. Isn't she going to cruise 2 weeks? Irresponsible. And you don't like these people. You're always getting people in over there in that goddamn page who you really, in your heart, you consider them to be stupid people that you feel like they are easily manipulated. Donald Trump Wilson. Donald Trump Wilson. You think they can be easily manipulated. That's the only reason you choose those people, right? And you stay involved in their conversation. You think you could tell them anything and they'll believe it because you really don't respect these people at all, Jay Wilson. Correct? When you put you up, you say you got 5 and 6, 8, 9 degrees, girl. When you put you next to a person who actually is well-educated, girl, you look like a goddamn minstrel. You're just dumb. You still want to talk about, look at your T's. Look at your T's. I see your T's. So there's trickeration all through your education, girl. I will not believe it anymore. I've made up my mind. I am not going to believe that you have 5 degrees. I've invited you on several occasions to put those degrees on the screen. Since they're right on in your same room where you are, you have them framed, but you have them framed and put way on top of a bookcase, right? Where no one could ever see the print where they came from. No, although we know that you could easily fake something like that, girl, if you would put them in the screen, other people who have been through the educational process, girl, will be identified what a fraud you are, Jay Wilson. What a fraud you are. You don't have vocabulary. There's nothing to indicate that you know anything on any subject. You know only rudimentary, I can't get the word. You only know only the basics from the Bible. Just the things you can go in there and pull out to say you're not going to hell, because in deep down inside of you, apparently some of that stuff stuck, right? Because even as calling yourself pastor, and you insist on keep on calling that, you know, dumb people will call you pastor. You know, goddamn pastor, girl. You're a pastor of shit. What was I saying? Even calling yourself pastor, Jay Wilson, you have got no morals. Your character sucks ass. You're sitting up here now blaming the people who actually were going to pay to come on that damn trip. You're trying to make them look like the guilty ones now. Now they're moles and all this kind of stuff, right? Now you got a whole different story. Let's get a little more of this. This isn't even the video I was talking about. This is something he's on right now.
to do with why we are not going to Vegas. One, Vivian is sick. Vivian's mom is not doing well.
Everybody's sick.
Two, I would not be able to fly out to Vegas until Saturday.
Bullshit. On
Not
your temporary
Friday,
job?
not Thursday, but Saturday. So all of this foolishness about people scared because somebody's going to be there, y'all can have it. If that's what y'all want to do, hold it. Do what you got to do. Honey, y'all, but that's the reason why.
It won't stop.
That's the reason why.
What's the reason why?
Somebody said if it was me on purpose, y'all think Sassy put Shepard's number out on purpose? Do y'all really think she did that? I'm just asking.
That's not the subject. Come on.
Well, man, I don't care because, let me say this. I don't care because Sean is going. Sean was not the reason why I'm not going. If you all were here and if you heard me, the reason I'm not going is because Vivian is sick, her mom is sick. And that really put a damper on it because
That's odd because we just saw Vivian on here talking on your channel. She didn't seem any sicker than usual to me. She might be a little screwy in the head, but Vivian seems like she's perfectly healthy. And she's planning on going on a cruise in a couple of weeks, from what I hear, right? But that's the excuse. Vivian's mama was sick, putting all on Vivian, using her as usual, girl. And the trip had nothing to do with Vivian. This was your trip. She's just your flunky, correct? Granted, she does all the goddamn work, but you're supposed to just show up in Vegas now and entertain the people who you invited. You don't need Vivian for that. So why you come up with a whole different excuse now? Oh, I couldn't leave until Saturday. They didn't know I couldn't leave. Didn't you know all along that you couldn't leave until Saturday? If that was the truth, which it ain't. Girl, you don't have a real job, Miss Thing. You have temporary assignments, Miss Thing. I find it hard to believe that you can't come up with an excuse. If you can come up with an excuse to cancel the whole goddamn trip, surely you could come up with an excuse for your job, girl, to get off on Friday. If that's the regular job. I mean, I don't know what kind of shit you're doing right now. You keep making this joke about some convenience store kind of stuff. Nobody's laughing at it. So why do you insist on saying it over and over and over again, girl? It doesn't make any sense, Jay Wilson. How y'all doing? Yeah, he got the children excited on this one, honey. They said, oh, Timothy, you got to go check him out. Making up a completely different story than he used before. Now he's just adding things on. All this shit came on this week. Didn't you know when you're planning a trip for 2 months that you were not going to be off? I'm just saying. So now that's the reason why you bailed out because nobody was coming with you, sissy. His idea of having fun was playing spades. Got a bitch. How you gonna be in Las Vegas, the gambling capital of the world, and you think somebody gonna be locked up in a room with your punk ass playing spades, and you don't gamble? The whole point of the city, the reason why it exists, is to gamble. But you want to go there and play spades? We're gonna play spades, or we're gonna have the jumper outfits. We're gonna have the jumper test. We're gonna have the jumper contest. One of the most exciting cities in the country. And you really believe that these people are going there to watch you squeeze your fat ass into a jumper. Lord. What's going on, Jesse? Oh, I'm starting a new book. Well, actually, it's just an outline so far, but yeah, it's going to carry on the character from my last book. They got released 3 weeks ago. His name is Jesse. Jesse, lover boy. Anyway, who continues to fool with past to deserve anything that comes from that scammer? I mean, come up with a whole different kind of shit. Oh, I wasn't going to be off on Friday. That means I have to arrive on Saturday. Oh, how can I arrive on Saturday? When Vivian going to arrive? When Vivian, the scapegoat. Actually disrespectful to the girl's mama. How you gonna bring somebody's mama into this bullshit, girl? Pastor? How? What kind of pastor are you? Shouldn't you be concentrating on being a pastor then? Shouldn't you be down there volunteering at somebody's church, girl, so you can see what a good person you are, how well-spoken you are, and you can climb up the ladder? Now he's saying he couldn't get off. The QT is the big joke, right? The QT, he saw where Vivian works, but she actually does work at QT, some gas station somewhere. He don't even mind disrespecting her. So he's making the joke. I gotta go down to the QT. I gotta mop the floors. I gotta mop the. No, that's what Vivian does. This is supposed to be your ace boom coon, the reason for the trip. Well, nobody going there to see Vivian. You the content creator, nigga. The whole idea, excuse me, people, I'm still struggling with pain medication. Anyway, it does not absolve you from your responsibility, Jay Wilson. If you are a responsible person, no matter if Vivian bowed out or not, what if somebody else on the trip, they bowed out? Did you cancel the trip? Not only did you cancel the trip and bathed it in lies and deceit, you say now you're never going to have another trip, which speaks to your humiliation. You don't want to be seen as the loser who hyped these people up and canceled at the last minute, right? So what would Vivian being sick have to do with you canceling all trips in the future? You'll never take a trip again, but you cannot share the experience with the people. What would provoke that? She's sick, right? You keep going back and forth. Vivian's sick. And her mama was sick. Well, her mama's always sick. If she is her caregiver or she is invalid, honey, she always gonna have a cold, a sniffle. We haven't seen anything as seriously wrong with that girl's mama. She done shut up about her mama now, right? And I see her talking like she always talks. We see her moving around in the store, girl. What's different? And how the hell she knows she's gonna be sick a week ahead of time? The hell kind of sickness is this? You schedule your sicknesses, and now to come up today with a whole different story, girl. Jay Wilson, you're just not very bright. I have a hard time thinking how you were able to do dissertation over and over and over and over again, right? How you were able to participate in classes well enough to get a master's, bachelor's, doctorate, you say. All these things you seem to have, and you will not take one of them off of the top of that goddamn bookcase. What sense does that make? Live your life out loud, right? So people don't always have to be coming for you. You ain't got to mix up all your lies.
With Lady Vivian, though, hey, Viv, I won't be able to get to Vegas until Saturday. And Bill was like, I can't go because I'm not doing well and my mom is not, and there's some things I got to do. So Viv and I just decided that, hey, I'm not going to be able to get there early. I'm not going to be able to get there until Saturday.
Why?
I had a blackout date on my job where the blackout date ended on Saturday. So, again,
and then you already know all this?
Not because of no stupid email. No, I don't care about no email. I mean, people don't move me like that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
So now she's trying to save face because this girl, Skillet, sent him a note about Sean Bradley going to Vegas. See, Jay Wilson is jealous of Sean Bradley, right? We don't see no massive fundraisers every time Sean Bradley takes a trip. We know he's a frequent flyer, and if he says he wants to do something, he just does it. He can just do it, Jay Wilson. You are jealous of that. You ain't no damn traveler, girl. You're constantly trying to get these people to pay for you to go somewhere, right? And you're jealous that he can go somewhere. And now you're trying to cover your tracks like he ain't gonna. I ain't scared of him beating me up. I ain't scared of him He probably wouldn't beat you up, girl, because he know you're gonna go running right to the police. Correct? It might got time for you to be caught up in your bullshit. That might be the reason why I didn't come across that table and lay your ass out. Because I believe that's really what you need. Something is missing in your life to create a monster such as yourself, a poor Donald Trump. something is wrong. You missed a lot of ass whoopings you should have got as a younger person. You never learn what respect is. You don't know. You don't know shit about people. You don't have respect for people. You fill your channel up with these people who are mentally inept because you feel like you could easily manipulate those people. But even those people saw at some point, I'm not giving him any more money. You over here charging people to put people down and every kind of scam thinkable. And eventually it was enough. Correct? But you can't stop because the bills are piling up, bitch. So he happy today. Today is AdSense Day. He gets his big one, which he claims is $3,000 a month. I said, oh, that's strange. That's really strange. He said he get 3,000. Oh, you don't get 3,000? I always get 3,000, 2,000 to 3,000 every month, right? Meanwhile, we're looking at your page. We're seeing the participation. I know what AdSense pays since I've had a channel for a lot longer than you, girl. I've got 3 times as many subscribers as you have. I've got 3 times the participation that you have. Yet I get what I get, and I know it ain't nowhere near the goddamn $3,000. But you somehow get 4 and 5 times that much? How does that happen, Jay Wilson? The people are tapped out on you, boy. And after this last stunt, which you refuse to take responsibility for, girl, I think the numbers are going to drop off even more, and they should. Just like Trump, he doesn't campaign to rich people. He gets their taxes, so they'll support for that reason. No, he goes down to the small towns, people on farms and shit like that, and that becomes his audience. He feels superior to them, and perhaps they're so damaged that they actually believe somebody who has money, who been given money for generations, somebody who's been given money is actually a better person than them. So they allow him to talk down to them because they see somehow or other that they are touching wealth. You are not people. You are not invited to Trump Tower. Believe me. And you don't think you're gonna move your po ass up in there. There's racism and there is classism, and you don't fit. Correct. So he seeks lower companions. I've said it before, and unfortunately, I probably offended some people. But if you go to Jay Wilson page and look at the people who participate in these panels of his, they're all mentally inept. Now I said it. People who won't see through the lies. Hillary came in sweet. Oh, wasn't that beautiful last night? The Democratic convention. Oh, they had me happy, honey. Michelle and Barack at the same time. And Hillary. You know that sucker is steaming. All of his childish antics. Obama is such an intelligent man, such a smart man that he can lay it out. He came after the basic kind of things, the basic kind of language, the basic kind of petty name calling and all that kind of stuff. That is what Donald Trump is. He's nothing but a TV celebrity. That's it, at best. There's no proof that he's even a good businessman. If nobody is getting paid on your projects and businesses are going bankrupt after bankrupt after bankrupt after bankrupt after bankrupt, that doesn't say to me that you're a successful businessman or you're a good businessman. It sounds like you're a hype man who sells his name. Yeah, Obama getting more handsome, ain't he? With his bald head. He had a trip way down. But yeah, that was great. And the stadiums were absolutely packed. See what I mean about the similarities in character? The stadiums where she was at Milwaukee and there in Chicago were equally packed. Both places were packed to the rafters, correct? And Donald Trump would come and say, they did that with AI. They did that with AI. And people are not realizing, I think, many times The irony, because he is making videos with Taylor Swift like she is supporting him, correct? 3 people with Taylor Swift shirts on. Look, they're all coming. Just taking that woman's craft, her music, her reputation, and just creating an AI video. He's doing it right in your face and accusing someone else of doing that. The very same thing. But what hers is real, yours is so fake, Donald Trump. So why would you come up with the idea, oh, I should say, that she created with AI? And then 3 days later, you come out with AI videos. Correct? All of your crowds have always been proven to be much smaller. I mean, the one I saw 2 or 3 days ago was pitiful. It was pitiful. But just like Jay Wilson, they're the same type characters. Lie till their teeth turn brown. This nigga, all he got to brag about is them teeth. And I keep telling y'all, if y'all look at his first video, which he's too lazy or stupid to take down, you can see that his teeth, that mouth has been worked on. Right? That's what he bragged. Look at my teeth. Look at me. No, let's skip the teeth. We already got that over the last 1,000 videos. Let's go to the hairline, nigga. Right? We stand up in the camera. We want to see what you look like now, because we witness up and down and all around. You're like a seesaw. Your weight is like a seesaw. Justin, I'm worried about you. Justin, you want to meet I got a therapist I used to see. He's very talented. You think it's all about you because you stepped in? That's the only reason I'm not talking about Jay Wilson. Child, anytime I hear that boy's name mentioned, I'm going to talk about Jay Wilson. So you might as well get used to it. After 300 videos on the same nigga, you can see what a beef is. A beef is not having an argument with somebody, right? This is how they came with the name Beef Sector, because it's always, the beef is ongoing, baby. The beef goes on forever. Did I get the email you sent me? I don't remember, Justin. I know you think you can't be forgotten. But hold on a minute. We got to humor Justin for a minute. This is our Justin moment. Okay. Oh, I erased it already. Yeah, I did get it. I remember now. But I don't remember what it's about. This thing changes every day. Somebody else made those Taylor YSAP propaganda, and YSAP thought it was real and posted it. Don't think he thought that was real. Hell no, I'm not buying it, honey. So he just reposted all this shit that he think is real. They told me it was real. Somebody, a garbage man said it was fake. A garbage man said it was fake. Correct. You knew what you were doing when you did it, Trump. Don't fall for that bullshit, Justin. And I hope you're not actually defending Donald Trump. You know I have a low tolerance for that bullshit, correct? Just even what you just said, honey. He knew exactly what he knows it's all fake. And he probably, somebody on his team is creating the shit. How come he got so many goddamn fake videos then, Justin? He didn't know anything about any of them. They just make it. Here, Donald, this is true. Like, he's not a willing participant, please. You don't have an addiction to anything, so your therapist wouldn't work for me. Yeah, he gets down in there deep, Justin, to the root of the problem. He said, Justin, tell me who you are and who you want to be. He gets in there, baby. You want his phone number? I look a little slimmer, huh? You can tell. I hope I don't lose nothing in my face. I do not want to become that Jay Wilson monster. Y'all see we took them glasses off yesterday. Ooh, girl. Damn, you like you a fucking 80 years old, at least in your eyes. I got to put my cream on. Then you sleep with mask and all that. You know what? I'm determined. I'm going to switch over to nothing but Tylenol. I'm only doing Oxycontin once a day now. I started off, I'm assuming that's what it is, but I take so much different shit. It could be the combination of two things to make my mouth so dry, my throat so dry. Just Tylenol from this point on. It's getting on my nerves. I just took my Squeenie over to the animal hospital. Fortunately, if you look out my window, the animal hospital, a new one, relatively new, he's been there about 3 years, is right across the street. So I took him in there because he had a microchip in his neck, or so I thought. And he started scratching it, started bleeding, right? So I thought it was the microchip because that bump has been there since I got him. And I also realized that Squeenie is now 10 years old. He's an elderly dog, shit. I thought he was 7 years old, correct? But somebody was telling me, one of the nurses was telling me that I had that cancer 7 years ago. And so I got Squeenie right after I was still healing from the cancer. That was 7 years ago. So he's 7 and he was 3 when I got him. That makes him 10 years old. Anyway, it's not bothering him anymore. She says it's some kind of mole. I could pay to get it taken out, but it's just a mole. So it's not bothering him. She gave him some cream, whatever. You got to look out for your children. I am not a Trump supporter. I just know he's an idiot and he believes in a lot of things. No, he does not believe that stuff, child. That's part of the lie. Anytime he's talking about he don't believe it, yet he's forwarding it, liking it. What do you call it when you forward emails? He knows exactly what that bullshit is, child. How the fuck you gonna have Taylor Swift as one of your primary supporters and you ain't never heard nothing about it? And she got pissed. She probably figuring with all the backup of lawsuits he got. Does anybody watching to see that Donald Trump has paid anybody any of this money? All these $1 million lawsuits that he has lost. Every time he comes before the court, he has eventually lost. Now it's time to sentence him. They're trying to delay that. He's been delaying for 50 years. Correct? He delays and delays and delays until the problem goes away. So now he done bastardized the goddamn Supreme Court. He done stacked the court. So they don't even have enough pride in their system to tell the truth. Because they have to work to make it sound like it makes sense. So he ain't got to pay nobody nothing. So Eli, the Carol lady, what's her name? E. Carol. Isn't she owed something like $85 million plus another $5 million? Did she get any of her money? He'd rather pay it to the lawyers. And believe me, he is paying out of his ass to the lawyers instead of just paying his debts. Oh, I know you would like that one, Justin. That was a softball for you. Justin, you can't be in every goddamn comment now. Did you sleep with your teeth in again like last night? You told us that is why you keep drinking all that water and you have a difficulty. And this is not me trying to read you anything. No, Justin, if it makes your life better, if it somehow enhances your experience, no, I didn't sleep with my teeth in last. What's your name? Justin. You're Justin again, right? Justin, I take enough pills to open my own drugstore. Okay. So I'm not even sure why my mouth gets dry and all. All I know is they're working. They're keeping me alive. I'm still here. 32 years later. Bitches been trying to tell me I'm going to die for 32 years. Okay. You just ain't lived enough yet, Justin. Hi, Elaine. How you doing? Trump has not paid anybody. Ain't that a bitch? How they gonna let him be up here bragging about he's worth $11 billion, and yet when he loses the lawsuits, there's no one to enforce the lawsuit? You worth $11 billion. Let's say you got close to the truth, and you're worth a little less than $1 billion, and most of that is in real estate. Can't they make you pay the money? Or why put the courts through it? And those poor people who go to court and show up expect their case, and they got a legitimate case, and they win the case. But yeah, you ain't got to pay them. Right? Let a poor person lose their money. You all up in their paycheck, garnishments and carrying on. He ain't did nothing. And now they're trying to throw it out after he's been convicted. So what does the conviction mean then? Every time we've been delaying shit for 50 years. I ain't thinking about you, Justin. I'm gonna ignore your ass. Every time you get past 10 comments, you're out. I'm ignoring you. Okay, I refuse to be your content. I'm higher than a what? A giraffe? No, it ain't like that, baby. I don't know how people, well, I said this is the truth. People get stuck on opiates and all that. I can't wait to get that shit out of me. But I've been doing better than expected because the doctor's telling me you shouldn't be tapering off so fast or so soon. It's only been a little less than a month. But I can't. I'm not in pain. I'm not in pain, honey. But no, there's no attraction there. No, there's no get high in that. When I was a dope fiend and I spent a good part of my life as a drug addict, never did I take anything that would make me down. I had no reason to bend over and all that kind. I wanted to be up, up, up. And that's my story. So I'm not even sure what that does exactly. All I know is that when you've been asleep for 8 hours and you have none of these drugs in you, your neck, I was in some serious pain this morning. So I've been taking it once a day. Now I'm going to go to just Tylenol once a day. And yes, I am dehydrated, Justin. I hope that helps you. White red. I can try to ignore him. Where is Queenie? Hey, Queenie. He's here. He's here somewhere. Well, I wanted to go in that hospital anyway to establish myself. But, you know, dogs are not in trouble in the first years, right? But as they get older, now I realize he is 10, then they start having problems, right? So it's good to be in contact with a veterinarian. They seem nice. It's a nice hospital. Mm-hmm. He got his rabies shot and some other shot. You know, they try to upsell you when you go in those places. But might as well do it. $13 is when it goes downhill. Oh, age 13. Yeah, my other dog, Jimmy Dog, he didn't get sick till like the last 6 months of his life. He started having all kind of abscesses. But then when you look it up, that's the life of a Cairn Terrier, 15 years. And that's what he was. He's 15 years old. So I may only have another 5 or 6 years with my baby. There are some dogs that live 20 years old, but I'm not going to have him sick and rolling him around with wheelchairs and all that stuff. We have to be merciful no matter how much it hurts. What? William McCrae is live right now. He's promoting Pretty Boy Cream. He got to use somebody. Why would you? That don't make no sense to me, child. William McCrae, if everybody agrees that you're ugly, why would you use your own image on this Pretty Boy Cream? You're supposed to deceive the people like Jay Wilson would and put a bombshell on there. All cosmetics, those are not the owners of the companies on the label. Is your ego telling you that you are a pretty boy and you would represent? So what if you lost a few pimples? You're an old man. You shouldn't be still having pimples, right? But you didn't stop the aging process. What's his name? I mean, hold on, man. Tired of being hoarse. Ah! Wait a minute. That was 3 days ago.
So to hear this this kind of thing, of this kind of sinister, gangster, you know.
I think that was 2 months ago. He's live right now.
Nothing on her on social media at all. She got one picture on LinkedIn, and she's supposed to be.
I don't wear nothing but designer clothes. I don't wear nothing but designer clothes. And he said it was Louis Vuitton. They got that fool up there. I guess he gets up in that get up everywhere he goes. When he goes to the supermarket, he puts all that shit on to go walk through the supermarket because he ain't got no job. He ain't got nowhere to be, right? All he goes is back and forth to church. Whatever, honey. Justin, can you play? But I've been disrespected. He can't help himself. Justin, we need to get you on the show with Wiley. And y'all can both go at it, honey. And we'll figure out who's crazy. All that brown under them fingernails. They can't have fingernails. These are all designers. And what I told him. It called it Louis Vuitton. He's a character, though. If you want to live your life as a character. Shall he probably goes to these outlet stores, or he goes to Goodwill. Some Goodwills have designer clothes. If you're willing to spend hours in them, you can find some stuff, a few years. Rich people throw shit away all the time. They're constantly buying, constantly spending. And even them, sometimes those closets gets so full that they'll just get rid of a whole shipment of clothes. Send them down to the Goodwill or whatever. They're not interested in the money or getting anything from them. And that's how he came up with a lot of his clothes. They say that guy, Old Folks TV, what's his name? Old Folks, Grown Folks. Grown Folks TV. He used to work for the Salvation Army, right? He worked for the Salvation Army for years until they found out that he was stealing lots of clothing. And that explains why he always wears designer clothes, too. Even if they are from the 1960s. Candos, I invest in something that might have some growth to it, honey. Instead of buying all these goddamn clothes. What he bought? He bought him an old Porsche, I heard. But a Porsche is hard to keep on the road, honey. So between the clothes, the designer clothes, and the I guess the facials and the hair weavers and all this stuff he puts on, child, there ain't nothing left. He ain't got no job. He's not making shit on YouTube. I guess you can get money on Facebook, but I never figured it out, right? I don't imagine it's very much. So how do you even have the funds to be put with all these clown suits? It's just an obsession. Now I've seen dandy, call them dandies. Some of these old guys, they just love clothes. They've always loved clothes, and they're gonna dress up just like a woman. That's right, Elaine. Hit that Cash App. And would you please hit the like button? Thank you. Today is AdSense Day, baby. Because I was missing so many days, and because they took off some of my videos about Donald Trump, I thought that this week's check would be bad, but it ain't. They came on through. Maybe next month we're going to taper off, because I do have a lot of missing days. And they demonetized about 6-7 videos last month. Whatever. Just something in the bank, baby. I done bought all I need to buy. He driving a Porsche like they used to drive them. Oh, remember back before black people could get decent real estate, get in a decent house and all that. They get all these everybody drove a Cadillac. The Italian gangsters have a thing about Cadillacs, And it used to be where black folks really had to think about it. But they'd be old Cadillacs, honey. I'm not buying no new ones. It's hard to keep a Porsche on the road, baby. It's hard to keep a Mercedes on the road after a certain amount of years. But to replace wheels on those things, I wouldn't want it. Unless I could afford it, you know. People who can afford to pay for stuff, they have collections of cars, right? They got cars from the 1930s, but they can afford to keep them up. William actually had I'm trying to read somebody else's comments, Goonies. Had a very good video early today. He was being absolutely serious because somebody got scammed real bad from a PPP. And William was trying to help the lady get some information. What's she about his business? Anyway. Anything else going on? Let me check my perimeter. So Jay Wilson's coming up with more excuses of why he canceled his trip at the last minute. He's got about 6 excuses going at the same time. Like the whole world fell apart on that day that he decided to cancel it. The problem people are having, Jay Wilson, let me help you out. You didn't even bother to contact these people. You didn't let them know that it wasn't looking good for the trip. You didn't communicate with them after you canceled the trip and left them holding the bag. It wasn't all about you and your $85. I gave $85. I gave the $85. Girl, people had invested in that trip, and you have yet to take responsibility. Every time it comes up, you're talking about Vivian and her mama. It's very offensive. You are a person of low character, Jay Wilson. That's why you don't mind lying on the church. That's why you got the doctor in front of your name and the pastor in front of your name. You know it's a lie. It does not bother you. You only deal with gullible people who will sit over there and look at your crazy, hungry, desperate ass and call you somebody. But you get to be called pastor all day. This is pastor. This is Uncle Brett. This is Brother Jay. This is brother. Be all you can be on the YouTube. Oh, so y'all get about 3,000 shit. Lord have mercy. He said there was one Christmas. He came on here first, started, like I told you, one lie begets another lie begets another lie. People are being a little generous in that season, but Christmas time, people give people money. So he came up and he said he had $3,000, no evidence of it, no receipts. And then he held on to that like he gets that every month. It's just Christmas time or a birthday or something. I get over 1,000 for my birthday, 1,500. This computer I'm looking at right now, this is a new Apple computer. And my subscribers, along with that check that Trump sent, paid for it. So they're generous on that particular day, but he ain't getting nothing like that on a regular basis, Jeff. What's he got? Like 6,000 supporters? That's basically a zero. I have 22,000 supporters, still a zero, but nevertheless, I've got at least 3 times the numbers he has. My videos get 3 times the participation. I'm running the same damn commercials. They're the ones that choose the commercials. He has no control over that. So I know he ain't getting no 2,000, no 3,000. He is supplementing those pitiful checks he's getting from the temporary service. And that's it. And he's come to lean into them. So even when he has nothing to say, he'll just come and run his mouth for an hour. Then he'll go home, have a sandwich, maybe a sandwich and some Kool-Aid. He'll come right back on and make another hour and a half video. Right? Then he'll go and go to the bathroom, maybe clean up the dishes, come back, and he'll make another video. I'm trying to figure out, how do you even crowd in 6 videos in one day? It's desperation on parade, girl. And your content, Jay Wilson, I hate to say it, your content is nothing but bullshit. It's nothing, girl. You all up in Adobe's clothes. What Adobe said. What Adobe said. And you're a doctor, you say. Worried about teeth. He worried about what's this guy? No, King. What's the other King? King Roman News. He want to get all in the back of his mouth. Look at that tooth. You got that tooth. Oh, look at my teeth. Look at my teeth. How do you spell idiot? What's going on, AT2? Trump didn't send the stimulus. Congress did. Okay, thank you for the correction. You think Trump wants to send out hundreds of millions of dollars? Hell no. Okay, so of course it was Congress. I stand corrected. Trump didn't do shit the whole time he was there, in my opinion. He didn't do a goddamn thing. He wants to get back in office. I can talk with Putin. Oh, we get along fine. I think it's a good thing that me and Putin get along so good. Then he says at the other side of his mouth, we're on the verge of World War III. We're on the verge of World War III. It's going to happen if you let her into office. Oh, Kamala Harris, she's a terrorist. Oh, no. He said Barack Obama was a terrorist. I'm always keeping him relevant. Yeah, I played a big part in why people even know who Jay Wilson is. But believe me, honey, for every dime he makes, I make 20 cents off of his name. So I don't care. Stay relevant. You're good. It's good content. Anytime I don't have content, all I got to do is click on Jay Wilson page. Click on that. There's plenty of content right there, honey. Foolishness. Love you, Uncle Tim. You know these black Trumbo supporters think he handed out checks. Sell your soul for a goddamn stimulus check. We got the stimulus check because the country was in a major what would you call it? Whatever. The situation was dire. People couldn't go to work because of COVID. Correct? People have children. They have to feed the kids. We can't evict everybody. Correct? There had to be allowances made for housing, for food. And that stimulus check, you go through Safeway with your stimulus check, honey. After about the third time, you're broke. Correct? That ain't no big deal. So you don't be wasting your vote for a fool, putting a fool like that in office, who you know is his last time running. Why is he telling all these old people that this is the last time they're going to have to vote? We got it fixed. What are you trying to do to the government? How can y'all let some rich, spoiled brat just come and take our government? It happened. It happened. And that's what they need to be investigating. How exactly did it happen? Because there's trickery in that when he won. We were in a major recession. It was his job. He ain't giving y'all shit, honey. What the fuck you think when they take a third of your paycheck? You don't think you got no part in that? You're American citizens, honey. You're the one keeping the government going. And you're where they're getting all these trillions of dollars to spend. So what, they gave you a little trickle of money back to keep you going. So you can get back in the goddamn plantation. If you really want to hear our views, he never did nothing. Hey, it's not too cool to be critical, but he brought this upon himself. And we are sick and tired of hearing his song, telling us how he done changed right from wrong. And if you really want to hear our views, you haven't done nothing. Hey, ooh, I got to go bathe my throat, honey. I think I'll put me a lidocaine patch on it. And the Tylenol. Thank y'all for coming in today. We didn't get much compared to other countries. That's right. We didn't get that. Honey, you got what? You got 2 little checks of your own money back. You paid that in 3 of your paychecks. You've been paying in for 50 years. All right, y'all. Thank you for coming in. All right. I talk as long as I can talk. We got to nurse this throat back to health. Well, I'm glad y'all came on in. Even you, Goonies. Even you. Later.